Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Heather, and today I'm going to share a video with you about 8 ways to go more eco-friendly in your kitchen. So if that sounds good to you, keep watching. So the past couple of years, we've been kind of trying to make easy changes in our kitchen just to be a little bit more eco-friendly, a little bit more green. Really just trying to be a little bit more environmentally conscious. There's lots of YouTube videos out there on how to be more green in your kitchen or in your household, and so I just wanted to show you a few things that we've done along the way to go green in our kitchen. If you're just starting out on this kind of journey to go a little bit more green, make sure that you give yourself grace. It takes time. It takes time to change habits, to find new ways of doing things. So be kind to yourself along this process because it does take a lot of time. I'm going to share a few things that are really easy to do, and then there are some things that take a little bit more time and a lot more intentionality to go green. So I'm going to show you some of the easy things first, and then we'll get into the harder stuff later. So number one is your utensils. A lot of time when we go out to eat or when we're eating on the run, we have to use plastic utensils, and this is a really easy swap to make. I just carry this. This was a little bag. I'm not even sure what came in this bag, but what I have inside are some bamboo forks and spoons, and they're attached, and I just carry a set of these with me wherever I go. I also have straws. These are metal straws. These are everywhere. You can find metal straws, bamboo straws. I have some of those, glass straws, silicone straws. There's so many options now. So use what you enjoy. Some people don't like metal. They don't like the feeling of metal on their mouth. So pick something that you like. So I carry these with me, and also some cloth napkins so that I'm not using all of the paper napkins or paper towels when I'm away. I stick this in my bag when I'm going out, or just leave it in your car, and that's a great way to make an easy swap when you're on the go. Next is jars and glasses. When you're going out to eat, if you stop and get a smoothie or a tea or some kind of drink, and they give you plastic cups, they'll actually fill yours for you. So if you ask for a smoothie, like if you're at Panera or a Jamba Juice or something like that, and you say, I have my own jar, they will, most of the time, they will fill it for you. So this is an easy way to do this. These are just canning jars, and I've got a silicone sleeve for that one. But other ones, I just take my own glass jars with me. I've purchased some lids. These are really good for kids' smoothies. So these are just a silicone lid and a regular band, and I just stick my straw in, and really easy smoothies to go. I also put some hot tea in these sometimes, or some cold drinks, my water. These are also lids, some bamboo lids that fit on the tops of mason jars. And I'm going to leave a link to most of the things that I'm showing you. If I can remember, I will leave a link for all of these things below. A lot of them came from Amazon, so that it's an easy way to find that. So for the third way to go a little bit more green, we switched out all of our paper goods, like our paper towels and things like that, for reusable solutions. So instead of using napkins, paper napkins, we do use cloth napkins, and I grab these. You can find these in pretty much any store that you go to, any home store, but a lot of these are actually given to me, or thrift stores. Thrift stores have a lot of unused napkins, so that's a great way to do that. Paper towels, I just use dishcloths. It's an easy way to just wipe up your messes and throw it in the washing machine, and you can reuse these forever, pretty much. So those are some easy things to switch out if you're trying to reduce your paper waste. Another swap that we've made in the kitchen is for plastic wrap. You've probably seen these. These are beeswax wraps. And I know these aren't considered vegan, but you can find other alternatives too. But these were the easiest ones to find, just to try them out. There are a lot of different types, a lot of different kinds. They're not all created equally. Make sure you read the reviews when you're picking out wax wraps. These are well loved, well used. You can tell, I mean, they start to get old and stained, but they still work. So I really enjoyed using these as well. For plastic bags, for like Ziploc bags, an easy switch to make is just getting, these are waterproof zipper bags. And then you can just slide a sandwich in there or snacks. I have those. I also have these. They're a softer type, and these are great for kids snacks. I'll put grapes or pretzels or something like that in there, and you can get different sizes in these. Again, I'll leave the link in the description box below. I also have these silicone little Ziploc bags. These are great for snacks as well. I also put, like, when I'm going on trips or things like that, I'll put baking soda. I use baking soda to brush my teeth, and so I'll just stick baking soda in there and dip my toothbrush in there. So there's a lot of different uses for these. Anything that you use a Ziploc bag for, you can use something like this to replace it. So another easy swap. Okay, let's talk about washing dishes. This is something that I've had to get used to. If you're like me, I always like using my nice smelling dish soap and my little scrubbies that, I mean, we all have our things that we grew up using or that we've kind of clung to. So one thing that I've switched out is my dish soap. And instead of using the plastic bottles of dish soap, I use a block of dish soap, and this is from the brand No Tox Life, and it's a vegan dishwashing block. So this doesn't actually soap up, like suds up like regular dish detergent, so it does take some getting used to, but it really does clean dishes really well, and I enjoy using it now. There's no scent to it. I just keep it in a little bamboo dish, and then in this just to keep the water contained. So I use this for hand soap and for dishwashing because I've gotten rid of all my plastic bottles that I use. A lot of our dish soap does have a lot of harmful ingredients in it, harmful for the environment, harmful for our pipes actually, and also the plastic of the bottles is not really good either because it's really hard for us to deal with all the plastic that we're using. So this is a no waste, a zero waste way to wash dishes. I also switched out my regular sponges and scrubbies for a bamboo and biodegradable brush. I think these are like vegetable bristles and a bamboo type handle. So there's a lot of different options. You just really have to check out to see what you enjoy using and give it some time because it takes a lot of time, you know, switching when you're used to one thing over another. So another pretty easy swap. They're getting a little bit harder. This was kind of a tough one for me to start using instead of my smelly suds. Along those same lines, I also switched out my dishwasher detergent. We've started making our own. This has been a process as well. So this is another one that's taken us some time to get used to. There's lots of DIY recipes out there for dishwasher detergent. I've used a lot and a lot of them don't work for me. So I've come up with my own, and if you're interested in that, I'll leave a recipe in the description box below for what we use. But this is something that we've been working on for probably over a year now, and this is the one that we've kind of come up with that's been the best for us. That doesn't mean, it depends on your water type, it depends on your dishwasher, so just because it works for me doesn't mean that this one's going to work for everybody. So if this one doesn't work, try a different one. But this is a great way to cut down on the waste that we produce with our cleaning products and our dishwasher products. Okay, so one of our harder things to talk about is food waste. I've not always been aware of what food waste was or how important it is to us and our ecosystem, but we as Americans waste 40% of our food supply every year. I feel like that's a huge number, 40% of our food supply. So this equals about, reading my notes here, this equals about 133 billion pounds of food every year of just wasted food. That is a lot of waste. So if you're like me, I always thought, okay, well, you know, if I'm wasting food, then it's biodegradable. I throw it in the garbage. It's fine. Like it doesn't have an effect on anything. But actually food waste, if you throw it in the garbage can in a plastic bag and it goes to the landfill, when it decomposes in those plastic bags, it's actually producing methane gas. So food waste is actually responsible for 10% of our green gas emissions. And so that is a huge, just from food, so that is a huge thing. So what can we do about food waste? How can we go more green with our food? So I have some tips for you as you are looking to change your food habits and really to be more eco-conscious in your kitchen. So number one is to really pay attention to what you're throwing away. Maybe you don't realize how much you're throwing away. So I suggest keeping a list beside your refrigerator. Every time you throw any kind of food away, make sure you write that down. The first step to changing anything is to be aware of what habits you're already in. So write things down, throw it away, write it down. I threw away a head of lettuce today, or I threw away 5 bananas, or I threw away avocados, or I threw away spaghetti or flour that's expired. Write it down. Track your habits. Number two is to make sure you plan. It's really easy just to go to the grocery store and grab a bunch of stuff, whatever looks good at the time, throw it in the cart, take it home. You think you're going to use it, but you don't always use it. So one of the great ways to reduce waste is to plan ahead. Make a menu, make a grocery list before you head to the store, and you'll be a lot better off. So another way to eliminate food waste in your kitchen is to freeze your produce if it's starting to go bad. If you see something starting to wilt a little bit, chop it up, throw it in a freezer bag and put it in the freezer. You can easily put these in soups or smoothies later on, but make sure that you freeze everything before it goes bad. Another way to eliminate food waste is to share. If you have too much food, give it to somebody else. That's an easy way to get rid of some of your food if you're not going to be able to eat it all. When I go on trips, like we did a couple of weeks ago, I knew that I had a bunch of mushrooms in the refrigerator that I didn't get to that week. I don't even know if you can freeze mushrooms, so what I did is I made this huge stir fry and I gave it to people that I knew would appreciate some healthy homemade food throughout the week. And that was a way for me to eliminate food waste in my kitchen. I was able to share it with somebody else and I was able to use it before it went bad. So win-win. So the last thing to eliminate food waste is to compost. This is something that we've been working on in our household. We have a recycling bin outside. It's taken a lot of different shapes and a lot of different forms, so you can play with it until you find something that works for you. I know people that keep something under their kitchen sink in Rubbermaid tubs that acts as a compost bin. Wherever you are, make it work for you. So those are just a few ways to reduce food waste. I'm going to leave a link to a podcast that I listened to a few weeks ago on reducing food waste, and they have some amazing tips. So check that link out below, and I would like to see what you think about that one. So the last thing that I want to talk about is shopping, actually going grocery shopping. And we did talk about a little bit before, make sure you plan ahead, make that menu, make that grocery list. Those are going to be great in reducing waste. Another way to reduce waste when you go shopping is to say no to plastic. This is probably the hardest thing that we've had to do so far because most of our products are actually packaged in plastic. So when you're going grocery shopping, look at what things are packaged in. Is it plastic? Is there a glass alternative that you can buy? When you're in the produce section, instead of buying the produce in plastic bags, see if there's another option for buying something loose. You can take your own mesh bags with you to buy produce, to stick those in so that you don't have to use the plastic bags in the grocery store. So really being aware of what you are purchasing, the packaging that you're purchasing goes a long way. So we've done a few plastic-free challenges where we say no to plastic at none at all for 30 days. It's really hard, but it's really pushed us to find different alternatives. So one way that we found to do without some plastic is buying in bulk. We take our bags. Publix is a great place to get things in bulk, like rice, beans, flour, all of those things that you might find packaged in plastic. Take one thing at a time. I think that's a really good way to approach that. Take one thing at a time so that you're not so overwhelmed. So again, if you're just starting out on this, make sure you give yourself grace. This is a journey. This takes a while. This is a process. So I don't want you to think that I have it all figured out or that I'm doing it perfectly, because I'm not. We still have a recycling bin or a trash can that we still have to throw some things away in. It is a process. We are trying our best. We are taking small steps to continue to get better at this. So give yourself grace along this journey. If you have figured out some ways to go green in your own household, I would love to hear what you're trying. So leave me a comment in the comment section down below. So I'll see you back again next week for a video on how we have gone eco-friendly in our bathroom as well. So see you next week.